Welcome, survivors, burnout community, and those just interested. It's Kelly Bupoltz, trainer, author, speaker, and your burnout prevention mentor. Burnout is not taboo. It's our reality in this chaotic, fast-paced world. But we're not going to let it drive the narrative to our stories. We're going to do something about it. So let's dig in. Let's focus on some of the causes of accountability, and it's really going to shine light on why this behavior is happening. So accountability happens because there's a lack of clarity. Accountability happens when there's no owners, or it's not clear who the owners are, or there's not feedback loops to the owners. Feedback loops are over here to that person and over here to that person, and that triangulation and drama and gossip that comes up. So it turns into accountability problems. It turns into conflict avoidance. It turns into excuses of why something's not completed, why a function or a pass-off is dysfunctional. So accountability, when you really look at the root cause, it's alignment. And when we work through the workforce energy management model, this is in the N category, the north category, the navigate. Everyone is aligned and on the same trail direction. And it doesn't mean that everyone has to be doing the exact same thing. It means that everyone's on the same destination. Everyone's still going to that point B from point A. So accountability is not about micromanagement. It's not about that control over people and everything that they do. It's that we're all aligned and headed in the same direction. So some steps you can take to start addressing this, especially for our small businesses, because you have a tight-knit group, you actually can move through this pretty fast because you have that connection, you have that relationship building that you've already done because you're a smaller group. You'll be able to move through these steps a little bit faster. The first one is it starts with you. It starts with your leadership. It starts with the people leading projects, product, and the people. Are they aligned? They're not getting mixed messages to the rest of the team. Those behaviors are replicated. It's harder to have excuses when everyone's aligned and clear in the direction. It's harder to hide when everyone has something they own and the good follow-up loops. So when you talk about it starts with you, do you have good checkpoints, feedback? Do you have alignment across your team? Do you have awareness of your own excuses that you might be using and you don't even know it? And so that's why I highly suggest when we go into these programs to do like a 360 feedback. So that means feedback from your boss, feedback from your peers on the leadership team, feedback from your own team, to shine light on some of those excuses, some of those things that you might be blowing off that do matter when you talk about accountability. The second thing that you can do to start to remove that lack of accountability and move into alignment is ask the right questions. You'll see other videos regarding one-on-one meetings and leading your team value-added questions. Go check those out after this. I'll link one at the end of the video. But right questions over assumptions matters because you're either feeding the energy to a negative outcome, like lack of accountability, or to a positive outcome, like alignment. So when you say something like, why isn't this done? Why didn't we do that? Why didn't we hit the mark, right? That comes out of blame, that comes out of a negative narrative. A more forward-moving narrative, positive narrative, a coaching moment is what's getting in the way, right? So you're staying curious, and that's going to create agile teams. That's going to create the adaptability to really figure out the gaps in your operation, to hone down on a more optimized productivity and workflow, because you're addressing what the hangups are. You're addressing the hurdles. So when you move from these assumptions to asking the right questions, you're creating alignment around the way. So the second one is asking those right questions. The third one is, what is the purpose of the function? What is the purpose of the outcome? Because otherwise it comes from a place of pressure. It comes from a place of just pushing people all the time. And we all know that teams that thrive is because they know the purpose. Is they have that energetic end goal that they want to hit. But when it's not their purpose, when it's not their outcome, there's that disconnect. So then you have to push them. And when you're working in change management, when you're working in energy management, that's exhausting. That's exhausting for the leaders. That's exhausting for the team. That's causing disengagement. So when you can come from a place of purpose, what is the purpose of why we're doing this initiative? What is the purpose of this function? You start to see the alignment. You start to see the owners come out of the woodwork. So move to more of a purposeful approach than a push approach and pressure, because the support energy change in that is going to have this natural accountability where people want to participate, which means lack of accountability is going to disappear. Now, the fourth one that I want you to think about is consistency. All right, so we talked about you leading this, right? You taking accountability for your own actions, you aligning across your leadership team and awareness of the excuses that might be across that leadership team. So that's consistency, right? Then it starts trickling down. You're asking the right questions instead of assuming. You're staying curious. And then 3, you're approaching it with purposeful actions versus pushing so that people naturally want to follow. And the 4th one is going to be that consistency. So say you have a really good day and you do those first 3 things, but then the next day you're kind of bogged down, you're overwhelmed, and you're short with people, or you jump into those excuses and the blame, playing the victim. You just got rid of all those other actions that you did, because we all know that all this trust that you're building that's going to reduce that lack of accountability, it takes a long time to build. But it takes one event to disengage it. So when you're more consistent, you're actually breeding these behaviors of holding yourself accountable. When you're consistent, people see the predictability that, hey, I can't get away with this because I know my boss does good follow-up. I know my boss does good feedback. I know my boss is going to say what's getting in the way, right? Getting down to the root causes of why we're hitting these hurdles over and over again. So when you're consistent, people will predict your response, your behavior of accountability, and they're going to follow suit in response. So again, we're not moving to micromanagement. We're staying in the coach mode because we're asking those curious, open-ended questions, and that's going to guide the accountability behavior because now they own it. Now they have a clear expectation put in front of them, a clear function of purpose of what they're working towards, and it's consistently followed up on and good feedback that they know they can't hide. They know that excuses are a bunch of bull, and it's a behavior that is unacceptable because we're moving towards purpose, because we have the clear goal, because you have all the resources and tools set up for success. And so do you see where these little questions, these little like bite-sized micro moments build up to consistency? So when we move away from micromanagement, when we move away from controlling everyone, we lead by example, we have clear expectations, we have a clear purpose, we're asking the right questions out of curiosity, we're consistent with it, you move away from lack of accountability into alignment.
I know you're not lazy. Most people in burnout are high performers, those serving others before themselves. Don't discount this step today, the action in which you focus on your self-growth. Piecing together the puzzle is half the journey. Rediscovering yourself, energy, and establishing new habits is the other. Do not underestimate the untapped inner strength inside you. Explore more resources on my website to move from zombie mode back to liveliness. See you soon.